Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. Yesterday's vlog was a bit long, longer than I usually do anyways. I was hoping to compensate today with a short vlog with a just short update on what's going on with the ballot audits. But there's quite a bit going on, so it's not going to be so short, but I hope you find it interesting and informative. As you may have noticed, and this is the second time it's happened, it's not the Maricopa County ballot audit because it's spreading. The prospect of an audit is spreading to other states. I am happy to report. Oh, by the way, full disclosure, I am a conservative, so always keep that in mind when you evaluate whatever I say, especially when I say something is good news. I mean good news for conservatives. Or actually, I should say in this case, whether you're a conservative or a liberal, if you're interested in having free and fair and legitimate elections, then this should interest everybody, including my liberal friends out there. So let's start with this headline. It's from Fulton County. Now, you may remember, if you were paying attention that night, there was one area, the State Farm Arena, in Fulton County, Georgia. The ballots were being counted. Then they announced, the election officials, the election workers announced that there was a burst pipe in a restroom, that they were shutting down for the night, and everybody had to go. So not everybody didn't go, but the observers, the people who were watching to make sure everything was kosher, they went, and even when they were there, they were kept in a certain area where they really couldn't see what was going on, or at least the Republican observers couldn't. So they left, and as soon as they left, a worker pulled they continued counting, number one. They did not go home. They did not stop for the night. And there was no burst pipe in the restroom either. It was just a tiny little leak, nothing that would justify, it was just an excuse. As soon as the observers were gone, the counting resumed, and that included a worker pulling from under a table that had a tablecloth draped over it so you couldn't see what was maybe under the table, behind the tablecloth, pulled out some suitcases of ballots and started counting. This Republican governor, Brian Kemp, I don't know what is going on with him. He's supposed to be a Republican. And Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, they were supposed to be, the Republicans. They would seem to have an interest in an honest election. I have a feeling that they think something may have gone wrong and they're trying to cover their rear ends. That's my theory. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. During the time between the actual election, November 3rd, and the announcement of the results on that night and shortly thereafter, and the certification of the election in January, early January, January 6th to be exact, there were a number of hearings in various state senates with, I said before, I was able to work in my home office and keep YouTube on all day, so I heard live the testimony of hundreds of witnesses, and some of them testified to the counting being stopped in the state arena and then resumed after the observers have left, and suddenly there were all these votes for Joe Biden, a sudden influx, very short time of votes overwhelmingly for Biden. And it turned out the security camera had tape of this. As I said, the governor and the Secretary of State had some excuse, some explanation for it. But here is the headline about that night. Fulton County workers at heart of election scandal slapped with subpoenas. They were subpoenaed, some of these workers. Now they're going to have to testify under oath about what happened that night. Let me just read you the article, or a part of the article. I always link to them in the description so you can read the whole thing, but this is the gist of it. Ruby Friedman and her daughter, Wandrea Shea Moss, were central to the after-hours ballot counting operation at State Farm Arena during the 2020 election. Now they're finally going to face serious questioning as part of, quote, discovery, unquote, proceedings related to a Fulton County election lawsuit. If you're not familiar with law, I'll just stop for a second here. If you don't know what discovery is, that's when a case is brought to a court. The court will order discovery, which means that the plaintiff can, well, both sides can, but especially the plaintiff can request information, evidence, items to be provided to the court and to, well, especially to these lawyers, so that they can make their case. So they have everything. Well, if there is no evidence, then there is no. But if there is, well, what it is, certain documents, and then the lawyers go through it and see what these documents and other items, thumb drives and things, show. So that's what discovery is. That happens before the trial, and then the trial is held, and whatever either side discovers, by the way, they are required by law to share with the other side. So everybody, no evidence, you can't hide evidence. That's the bottom line. So back to the article. David McIver Alligood, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, forgive me if I'm not, and Ruby Freeman were both served affidavits to give videotape depositions. Freeman is notorious for being suspected of election malfeasance during the 2020 election. Among those activities were dragging out boxes of ballots from under a table after elections observers were wrongfully sent home at State Farm Arena, which I was just describing a moment ago. The sworn deposition will provide an opportunity for Freeman to explain her video recorded activities. What was seen on that, well, I just put a screenshot up for you, but that was a security camera, so she'll have to explain it now under oath in a sworn deposition. Ruby Freeman's daughter, who was actually her boss, was also subpoenaed to explain herself before the court. Wandrea Shea Moss, that's the daughter, also participated in dragging out boxes of ballots after she personally sent election observers home early. She would then run stacks of ballots through tabulators on video, some of them multiple times. She will provide a videotape deposition on June 10th, provided that she shows up. And what that means, I'm just guessing, and the article doesn't say, unless she takes the fifth. If she takes the Fifth Amendment, then obviously she's not going to show up, but it also just reinforces the notion that something is not kosher there. So what I want to give you now is from the deposition, I'm putting a page up there so you can see it, from the deposition, a list of or a description of the things that are being requested, well, not requested, demanded, that these people I just named are going to have to provide to the court and to the attorneys, the plaintiffs bringing the suit. So here we go. This is Wandrea Shea Moss, but it applies to the others too. So at this time of the same or very similar items, but I think they're the same items. I used to be a word processor in a former life at law firms, and a lot of this stuff, sometimes they write one paragraph for one witness and it's the same thing, so they just dupe it and just copy it and paste it in again and again as the document proceeds. So here we go. Number 1, a thumb drive containing separately an electronic bit-by-bit image of all communications for the period of January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2020. So for the whole year of the election, not just around November, but all the way back to January and all the time after till December 31, the whole year. So, bit-by-bit image of all communications for the time period of January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2020, made and received by Wandrea Shea Moss relating to the November 3, 2020 general election, contained on Wandrea Shea Moss's cell phones, emails, tablets, desktop computer or drive, laptops, computers, Snapchat account, WhatsApp account, Facebook account, Instagram account, YouTube postings or account, other social media communications, and any and all other electronic devices and electronic accounts under the custody and control of Wandrea Shea Moss at any time during that whole year. Bring all electronic, this is number 2, bring all electronic devices, including but not limited to to cell phones, tablets, thumb drives, laptop computers, desktop computers, in any and all other electronic drives containing, it probably should be any, but any and all other electronic drives containing electronic stored information under the custody and control of Wandrea Shea Moss, which were utilized during your activities from approximately January 2020 through December 31. 2020, submitted this third day of June 2021. So you see, the attorneys are asking for a lot, and this is a court order, so they're getting it, or they're supposed to get it, they're required to get it, but as I've been saying it multiple times in earlier vlogs, at least state election officials in Arizona, well, in Georgia too, I believe, they're just dragging their feet. They're stonewalling about providing things that a court has ordered them to provide. So we'll see what happens here, but that is really everything, and if any of that is withheld, then that's withholding evidence. If they destroy it, that's destruction of evidence. So I'm looking forward, I hope all of you are, to seeing what happens. So that's Georgia. Now we move over to Arizona. Arizona, very interesting. I'm putting up a screenshot of the activity on the floor. If you've been watching, by the way, there are 9 cameras, Arizona, well, azaudit.org. You can go to that website and you can see 9 cameras that are on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can see exactly what is going on. If you've been watching, then you can see a little difference this time. And the difference is that, first of all, they had so many pallets to examine, the pallets of ballots. They're all on one side, the ones that have already been counted, and there are only 3 pallets left now. So they're going to finish this week. The hand counting of the ballots will be done this week. If you look at this screenshot, you will now see, if you were looking before, there were these round tables that were filling the whole floor of the arena. Now you can see that there are some long black rectangular tables. I predict there will be more. That's for the examination of the documents themselves. I'm going to get to that in a second. And well, let me give you the article here. Let me just give you the headline. Arizona audit. Oh, well, one other thing. So you can also see in that screenshot a lot of tables, which I don't believe there were. There might have been a few of these long rectangular black tables also on one side. So they are finishing the hand count. I think all those circular tables will be gone, and then that whole arena will be filled with these long tables where they will be doing a very intensive forensic examination of these ballots. So let's go right to this headline. Arizona audit. Hand recount expected to end this week, as I was saying. Auditors in Arizona expect to soon finish their hand recount of the nearly 2.1 million ballots cast in Maricopa County in the 2020 presidential election. Quote, I think the counting will be done by the end of this week, unquote, former Arizona Secretary of State Ken Bennett, a Republican, told reporters on Tuesday at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, where the audit is taking place. That's what you're seeing in those 9 cameras I told you about, azaudit.org. The audit teams are shifting resources to ballot evaluation work, which includes, quote, anything to do with the authenticity of the ballot, unquote, Bennett said. Quote, are there folds in the 1.9 million ballots that came in and out by mail? Are alignment marks on the fronts and the backs of the ballots aligning as authentic ballots should? Is there a depression in the oval where a human handheld device would have filled in that oval as opposed to an inkjet printer or a Xerox machine or whatever you might think, unquote, he added. The ballot evaluation will take most of the rest of the month, according to Bennett, who is the Arizona Senate's liaison for the audit. So it looks like the whole enchilada is going to be done by the end of the month, by the end of June. I would expect that we'll get results pretty soon after, because I'm sure they've been tabulating and collating results as they've been going along, just not revealing them. But why wait to the very end? You can examine what you have, at least. Well, they've done some forensic examination of the actual paper. We'll see. Bottom line, I don't think we're going to have to wait much longer. As Americans, we should hope that the audit will hold up, which, again, I've talked about flop sweat, about our liberal friends panicking over this audit, trying to stop it. They're claiming it's fraudulent before the audit is even over. What if the audit shows that, well, just confirms that Biden won? What if that is the result? Now, are they going to say, well, but it was a fraudulent audit, so now we have to have a legitimate audit? They really should be waiting for the results. That they're not tells me that they are expecting that more likely that something will be proven or something will be shown that there was something fishy. As I say, I'm a wait for the facts kind of guy. Unfortunately, a lot of our liberal friends are not. And I'll throw in a few conservatives. I haven't seen much about that, but very rarely. I haven't seen any, well, actually, I did see one article about somebody saying that the audit is going to show that there was a shortage of, there were not 2.1 million ballots. That's supposed to be the number, but a significant number less. So in fairness, I did see an article on a conservative website, thegatewaypundit.com. I did see that, but I'm not paying attention to it because I don't know how they would know. Because if this audit is being run properly, and I believe it is, unlike the IRS, that's another story you may have read about recently. The IRS, somebody there linked a bunch of billionaires' tax returns, their tax results, which is a felony, which is a violation of federal law. I don't hold up much hope for the person who did it being called to account, but I would hope that this audit going on in Maricopa County, Arizona, will be run better, put it that way. And it sounds like it is, because we're getting to this next story, and then there's an update actually that comes right after it. But let's start this story, because there's a video with it. That's why I want to do this before the update. Huge development. 3 different states tour the Arizona audit floor. More are expected every day this week. And there's a video. That's what I want to show you. And then I'll give you the update. So let's go right to the video.
How's it going? This is Jordan Conradson with the Gateway Pundit, here with Ken Bennett. How's it going, Mr. Bennett?
Good, Jordan. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
So I understand Georgia's in the House right now.
There's a couple of legislators from Georgia and one from Alaska.
Really?
Alaska? That are in the building right now.
Okay. And then I'm also hearing that Colorado might be coming out today. Is that true?
I'm not aware of that one. I've heard Virginia. I've heard Wisconsin. You've now told me Colorado.
Right.
Nevada was in a few days ago. Pennsylvania last week. Kind of becoming a popular place.
Right. So they're just coming. They're just coming from all over the place. So are you expecting to have, over the next few days, more tours?
I'm told that every day this week there's some elected official coming in from some state. So today's Tuesday, and if that pattern continues, we'll have somebody in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Wow, that is very exciting. And so, in regards to the ballot floor, it looks like they're starting to max out on forensic tables, correct?
Well, we are beyond 80%, I'm told, as far as counting the ballots, which is usually the first step. And then it goes to the paper evaluation that we call it, and they are well behind the counting levels in paper evaluation. So I'm told that we'll probably be finished with the counting of the ballots by the end of this week or sooner. And then all the resources will shift to the paper evaluation. But you can already see that paper evaluation has been increased significantly. There's now 32 working tables and another probably 16 positions that are on the floor awaiting equipment and things like that. So once the counting is over this week sometime, then all resources will shift to the paper evaluation.
Welcome back, and now to the update. The update is very short, very sweet. I just showed you that video saying that 3 delegations from other states had come to observe the audit in Maricopa County and that more would be coming. So here's the update. Arizona audit update via Representative Mark Finchem. 6 states have visited the audit. All states need to come here. So it's now up to 6. 6 states have been there. On Wednesday afternoon, Arizona State Representative and candidate for, Arizona Secretary of State, Mark Finchem, tweeted a huge update on, quote, the freight train of audits, unquote, which is unquestionably in full steam. And by the way, Mark Finchem running for Secretary of State. So you get out there, you Republicans in Arizona, and vote for Mark Finchem, because if he wins, he would replace Katie Hobbs, who is the biggest roadblock. She's a Democrat. She's the Secretary of State, and she's a Democrat, and she is probably working harder than anybody, at least as hard as anybody, to stop this audit in Maricopa County in its tracks. So it would really be great to replace her, send her packing. Anyways, here's a tweet. Update from Arizona. The states that have visited so far are Pennsylvania, Virginia, Georgia, Alaska, Colorado. More individuals from Georgia will be in tomorrow, and other states later in the week. Until those states have visited, we do not want to release their state names to prevent harassment. And there's more after spending, and then the tweet cuts off because I didn't pay good enough attention. It's my fault, so I didn't get the whole tweet there. But I will see if I can link to that tweet, and you can read the whole tweet, because I always try to give the complete information. And I always try to get a thumbs up at the end of these videos. I hope I can get one if you like this video. Share it with anybody you think would also like it. If you've got any comments, comment section below the video, where you can put questions, suggestions for future topics. You could subscribe. I love getting new subscribers. You could visit my other channels, my hot dog recipe channel, my music channel. You could, I guess that's really it, except that I really appreciate the time that you spend with me. I hope you come back and spend some more time with me. I would love to see all of you again. I look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.